Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Charles Clough, bringing you some spiritual thoughts again from the Church of Truth Center for Awakening Consciousness. We're glad we can come into your homes for this period of time, August the 21st, and hope that these thoughts will be encouraging to you. The Church of Truth Center for Awakening Consciousness is pleased to bring you these spiritual thoughts. You can contact the church or myself using the information on the letterhead. This is the copy that you receive at the same time that you get this voice message. We always appreciate comments, suggestions, and requests for help and prayer. Any donations are considered God-sent, and we thank you. They can be mailed to the address on the letterhead. We would so love for you to join us in this ministry and outreach. Let me begin with the normal prayer. Gracious God, please leapfrog over the distances so those reading or listening receive this as if we are all together in our peaceful sanctuary. The topic for these thoughts is good is better. A great deal of therapy is helping people to get rid of things in their lives they don't want. Traits and characteristics that cause problems in themselves and in their relationships. They come in with these negative traits that have been their pattern for years. They're ready to talk about them, wanting to tell you how they've caused a lot of harm and ruined what they wanted. These negative things are ruining my life is a common statement. Often it is something like anger, where an explosion of negative emotion has broken a relationship. At the least, it has done a lot of damage. One of the first tasks of therapy, after all the preliminaries, of course, is helping the person sitting across from you realize they have no problem with the negative traits and behaviors they've just shared. Now keep in mind, this is coming at the person from my spiritual point of view. They are usually startled when I point out they really do not have a problem with the areas they have just mentioned. They have the problems they have mentioned because of the good traits that do not produce or allow these negative behaviors. If the good traits were present, the bad ones would not be. God's Spirit within pays no attention to those negative traits in our lives because they're not the problem. God only sees the positives that are missing or simply are not there yet. The lack of these positives is what gives room for the negatives. We change the bad habits by developing good ones. What we learn to do right automatically corrects the previous errors. It is better to see what we do not do right than focus on what we did that was wrong. Seeing the wrong just sees the wrong. People usually already know they're wrong. They have looked at this wrong for years, and it's not changed a thing. Folks need to not look at what they've been doing that's wrong, but rather what they want to do that is right. What a huge difference this is in focus. The positive promotes concentration on the right way without even having to mention or talk about what was being done that was wrong or not working. I don't know why we call something wrong because it didn't achieve what we wanted. It really was not wrong, it was just not the right thing to do at the time. This fits how New Thought looks at God as seeing only the good, the positive. Seeing the good and working toward it is the only way to achieve the better. All the time spent looking and talking about the wrong changes nothing. It is exploring and finding the good that raises everything to a higher level of relating and problem solving. That eventually reaches the goal that we really desire. Now I'm praying that we can follow the thinking that we're going to share in these next few thoughts. I believe it's very powerful if we can really get a hold of this. We only need to have control over that which we don't have control of. If someone says, I'm really working at controlling my temper, if they have no temper, they don't have anything to control. It's constantly a struggle for me to control my negative thoughts. If those negative thoughts aren't there, they don't need to be controlled. I have to work on not being critical of people. If not critical, we don't have to work on that. Worry robs me of my peace. If not worrying, that is not present. So let me repeat again. We only need to have control over that which we don't have control of. So our best asset to a good life is bringing in more and more of what we want, that which benefits and adds to the quality of our lives. Love, beauty, harmony, peace. Growing is not having less and less of what we don't want. It's having more and more of what we do want. Patience destroys anger from having to wait or go slow. Love and acceptance remove irritation when we accept people being like they are. Seeing we have done most of what bothers us others are doing dispels judgment. And guess what? These positive God Spirit qualities are already in us, because that is how the God presence in us is right now. Think of what will no longer bother or irritate us if we get in touch and keep in touch with that God Spirit within. Wow. We see almost constant examples of how some of our fellow humans let things get to them that others don't be bothered by. Look at a few of the videos taken and put on YouTube. They are videos that catch people spontaneously when they're off guard. An incident that occurs and is recorded showing the person being featured, yelling and having a cussing fit while everyone around is calm. Those around are puzzled that this one is so out of sorts at what they're screaming about. Wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, standing too close, not getting served when they thought they should, being disrespected, or someone ahead of them taking too long. The things individuals let themselves lose it over are myriad, because when ready to tear into somebody, it can be started by almost anything. When we look at the good in everything, none of these things get to us. We are beyond them, above them, more than them. What bothers God that we do? Nothing. Maybe when someone is hurt by what we do, that bothers God, but that's another thing. We'll not get to that in this discussion. We all observe the things children get upset about. We call that so childish. What we mean by that is, to the mature person, it's not important. Can we understand how those in the spiritual dimension must shake their heads in puzzlement as they watch us get upset over the things we let bother us? While we observe the mistreatment of others, we should not be concerned and bothered about. Let us go to what is not worth consideration, things that don't matter, things we just need to let go. We maybe need to be ready to jump into the middle of some issues and concerns that have relevance to many of our friends, neighbors, and humanity in general. But this won't be the small, insignificant things that we let bother us. We need to rise above. It's a good thing to let God know we would like to dismiss from ourselves what we don't need, to make room for all the good just wanting to become a part of who we are. If we can imagine ourselves being loving and kind, non-judgmental while supporting others, we can be that. If we can imagine it, it's in our minds, and we can be that, and we can look for that and reach for that. The Spirit within brings into our minds our spiritual potential. It is there already due to God's presence constantly within us. It is there for us to become, and God helps us do it, helps us become that. How good that is. We reach for that which is how we want to be, and the things that we don't want to be there will just dissolve by themselves. We thank God for that and bring that into our lives. And so it is.
The light moves through all of our days. We give and receive. It travels both ways. Into the future and back to the past. It never wears out, it's made to last. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Fills you up, right up to the top. You can give it away and not lose a drop. It tingles your fingers and tickles your toes. It leads to the truth wherever it goes. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. The sun is a circle that lights up the skies, and I see a circle of light in your eyes. The world is alive with energy too. Whatever you send out comes back to you. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth every day. Live the light, give the light, bring heaven to earth.